Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves gotta get it done. They have enough talent to do so, and if they don't get it done another year or even make it to the finals, I feel like that needs to be talked about. Get $15 on your first order. Bro, look at me. Do you think this is gonna be my first Uber Eats delivery? It's not. Getting on the video, he says, I don't like that Ant-Man's being compared to Jordan. So let's compare him to Kobe instead. Like, what are we doing? I don't think that's the smartest. Your boy Trey Fab. I'm a React content creator. I like to make React content, whether that be the TikTok, YouTube drama nonsense, or that be to basketball, different basketball creators in general in the modern NBA. So if you like basketball insight, I'm the guy for you. And if you like brain rot, I'm the guy for you. Today, we're reacting to the boy Mike Korzemba. The NBA needs to solve this problem now. It's about Ant-Man, so let's just crack off.
In the last 2 years, Anthony Edwards has taken a noticeable leap and become a capable go-to star on a championship-level team, but this leap has also brought some extreme controversy. Last season, Ant was compared to a young Michael Jordan, which enraged a lot of people, but in this year's playoffs against the Warriors, Ant scored his 1,000th playoff point, becoming just the 6th player in NBA history with 1,000 playoff points before the age of 24. The other 5 players on that list are all Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers to be, and Kobe Bryant, Tony Parker, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Jason Tatum. Impressive. And Anthony Edwards has also brought the Timberwolves to their 2nd straight Western Conference Finals appearance, which is remarkable, as in the 31 years before Ant was drafted to the Timberwolves, they made just 1 conference finals in their franchise history, which means we need to keep in mind, Anthony Edwards is just 23 years old.
I think him being 23 is, he's young, but he's talented. And one thing that needs to be done, especially this year, him going to the Western Conference Finals, he has to get it done. He has to get it done. He's got to get it done. He's got to get to the finals. Okay? And he's probably got to win the finals, right? Because we're assuming that they're probably going to face either the Knicks or the Pacers. Boston could always come back. We'll see what happens in Game 6. I think if Boston ends up winning Game 6, they're closing it out in Boston. I could not see them blowing that like they did last time. You guys remember when Boston was down. Boston was down 0-3 and came back, pushed it to a Game 7 just to lose? I could not see them making that mistake again. So if they do push a Game 7, I do think that they're going to end up winning, and maybe Minnesota would have an issue. I think losing Jason Tatum is still rough, but whoever comes out the East, I feel like the West is now favored. So if you're Ant-Man, you got to get it done, bro. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves got to get it done. They have enough talent to do so, and if they don't get it done another year or even make it to the finals, I feel like that needs to be talked about.
The next Michael Jordan is probably a stretch, but the question still remains here. Just how good can Anthony Edwards become? Is he taking another leap in front of our eyes and becoming the face of the NBA he was hyped to be just last season? So what's up, Mike here, and we have a clip we have to watch, but first, if you are new to the channel and you like this content, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, only if you are enjoying the video, and I would really appreciate it. Now, let's watch this clip.
On the part of the Timberwolves on the weak side, it's created now 2 opportunities. Oh my goodness! Anthony Edwards scrapes the sky and flushes it.
Poster dunks are always fun to watch, but they're also very important because in tight games, they can give your team the type of energy and emotion they need in order to get over the hump and bring home a win. And it is actually these insane poster dunks and athletic plays that let
Ant-Man be putting everybody on posters. If you see Ant-Man about to charge into the lane, you might as well just move out the way unless you want to be on ESPN Top 10. So, yeah, I would just move. Move, bitch. Get out the way. That's what I would do.
led to Anthony Edwards getting compared to Michael Jordan last season, which to me was actually the worst thing that could have possibly happened to him. Ant was compared to the literal GOAT. Yes, Ant did not perform to the standards of the best basketball.
Ant was compared to some people's GOAT. I just want to throw that out there. Michael Jordan is some people's GOAT. He sure as hell ain't mine. So, want to put that on the record.
basketball player to ever live, but how are we going to fault him for not living up to a narrative that the media created? Let's take Mike out of the equation here, and instead, let me show you just how impressive Ant truly has been at this young of an age. Taking a look at Hall of Famers, or Hall of Famers to be, we see that Ant is performing at a historic level amongst young guards. Looking at all of these players at the age of 23, we find that Anthony Edwards actually leads this group in points per game and rebounds per game. His only downside is that he is last in assists per game, but that...
Well, I mean, I guess we're talking about different eras here, though. Like, talent has gotten better, and I'm not taking that away from Ant-Man. So, okay. I just feel like it needs to be some more context in the numbers, but fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to let it hold. I'm going to let it hold. I'm going to let it hold.
That has changed in the playoffs. In the playoffs, compared to this elite group, Ant again fits right in or stands out, depending on how you want to look at it, as he is third in points per game, second in assists per game, and first in rebounds per game. Going even further here, his advanced numbers are great too. Third in PER, first in win shares per 40.
Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. Advanced stats, baby. That's right. That's right. I'm a nerd statistician with this shit. I want the real numbers, baby.
8 minutes, first in box score plus minus. So he's not Michael Jordan, okay. But Ant is only in year 5, and maybe it's because he's already been so good so fast that many are expecting even more from him. But let's keep in mind here, Steph Curry won his first MVP at 26. Russell Westbrook won his only MVP at 28. Same for James Harden, he was 28. And Kobe Bryant won his only MVP at 29. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade never won an MVP. Anthony Edwards has been more than just impressive. He has been keeping up the same pace as NBA legends. The fact that Ant just led the Timberwolves to their second straight conference finals as the clear-cut #1 player on his team is a true...
All right, a little bit of a hot take. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Quick question. Is it... just as of recently, just hear me out. I'm about to say something crazy. So just listen to me. Is it crazy to say that Julius Randle in the playoffs so far is the clear-cut guy, #1 guy? Is that crazy? Don't get me wrong. Ant-Man has been out there. He's been hooping. But I've been watching these games, and Julius Randle has been playing. Let me tell you something. The slander I gave that man, I'm pulling it back. That is how well he's been playing. I take my slander back. I usually don't do that, because when I'm giving slander, trust me, it's warranted. And I'm taking my slander back from Julius. I'm taking it away. I'm saying, no, give me that slander. We're going to put it right over here, baby. You don't need that. So, I'm just saying, Julius been hooping. He's been hooping. So I'm not sure if I would say, yep, Ant-Man is the sole reason. We could do like a 1A, 1B. I'd be fine with that. Like, without these two, they don't make it there. But Julius has been hooping. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right? A little bit of a hot take. I think Julius has been hooping more than Ant, but we'll see if I get ripped for that. I'm just saying, you know.
Sign of greatness to come. It is a sign that we should be on the lookout for another leap soon, as Ant is continuing to prove that he is a winning basketball player and that his overall game is improving, as we have to look at his passing here. But before we continue, I want to thank Uber Eats for sponsoring today's video, because as someone who works from home, life can get really busy, but that does not mean I should skip meals. Thankfully, Uber Eats has me covered, and I can stay fueled and energized without missing a beat.
Bro, you should not be eating a pizza. my brother in Christ, please. Stay healthy. I know this is coming from my fat ass. But listen, if you're going to order on Uber Eats, eat healthy. Oh, he's got a code? Hold on. My fat ass just saw a code. Let's hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. For your first delivery? Oh, what? Get $15 on your first order. Bro, look at me. Do you think this is going to be my first Uber Eats delivery? It's not. Like, damn it. No code for me. Alright, back to the video. Oh, I got unmuted. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm slumping.
Ant has raised his assists per game in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and this year is no different. He averaged 4.5 assists per game in the regular season, and now in the playoffs is averaging 5.9 to go along with 8 rebounds per game. These stats are very important for 3 reasons. 1, the best players in NBA history have always raised their overall games when the lights are the brightest in the playoffs. 2, the all-time greats also show noticeable improvements year after year. Both Kobe and Michael Jordan specifically said they always wanted to come back from every offseason with one part of their game noticeably improved. And 3, making your teammates better is the key to not just being an empty stat superstar, but to being an actual impactful winning basketball player. Because as we know, the most important stat in the NBA is wins. But there's also one more thing that truly makes a superstar in the NBA or in any sport, and that is having what we would call the Mamba mentality. That one.
Okay. I feel like, listen, I feel like when we're doing these comparisons, it's okay to do them when you're having like GOAT debates. We can have it if we're having like a Kobe versus LeBron, or Jordan versus LeBron, or a Kobe versus Jordan. Fair enough. We can do these different mentalities, do these different comparisons. What type of help did they have? What type of help did they not? What did they do? What did they not do? What do they have that this player doesn't? What does this player have that this player doesn't? You guys see where I'm coming at with that? I feel like, Mike, I love you, buddy. But I don't like being like, oh, does he have Mamba mentality? Let's check it out. Like, I don't know, bro. I feel like you don't like comparing him to Jordan. That's the main point. The beginning of the video, he says, I don't like that Ant-Man's being compared to Jordan. So let's compare him to Kobe instead. Like, what are we doing? I don't think that's the smartest move. But I do think Ant-Man is extremely talented. One thing I do think was a detriment to him is he wasn't the greatest playmaker. And you saw like teams like the Lakers and even teams like Golden State were trying to force him to be a playmaker and say, if we're going to lose, it's not going to be on him. Especially with JJ blitzing him like crazy. But one thing I do like and one thing I do respect is he has shown, oh, you're going to force me to be a playmaker? Then I'm going to be a playmaker. I'm going to make the right plays. I'm going to find my open teammates and I'm going to give them the ball. That's why I'm not crazy to say 1A, 1B between Julius and Ant-Man, because I'm not going to say it's like super high on Julius here, but slight edge. And this is just my opinion. Someone can debate me into thinking actually Ant-Man is more important these playoffs than Julius was. Someone could do that. I'm just saying Julius has been balling, but maybe that's because they've been forcing Ant-Man to be what I just said, the playmaker, and he's been a good playmaker as well as getting his own buckets. So a lot of respect on Ant-Man on that side of things. I'm not sure where Mike is going to go with this. No disrespect to him or anything. The comparison of players I don't like to do. I like to try to hold the player to themselves and talk about how great they could be moving forward. And the only time I like to do comparisons is if I'm sitting there trying to debate why they may be better than said player or why they may be not as good as people put them out to be as said player. You guys see what I'm saying? So we'll see what he's saying as far as Ant-Man having Mamba mentality. But I think it is kind of weird to be like, all right, does Anthony Edwards have Mamba mentality? It's like, I think he's a killer. I don't think we have to do this comparison, no.
100% need to have the ball in your hands to take the last shot. That confidence that you can do anything in the world. We can see on the court that Anthony Edwards has this mentality, but if you need some extra proof, Julius Randle played with Kobe Bryant. He is playing with Anthony Edwards now, and he recently said, quote, I've been around a lot of great players. He, Anthony Edwards, is as confident in his belief in himself as it's Kobe-like. And I was around Kobe. He's not scared of any moment and he wants those moments. His belief and confidence in who he is as a player is the highest I've ever seen or been around for anybody. Those are
Ooh, so he says he has higher. He's higher. As far as Mamba mentality goes, he's up there. He's up there. He has the most confident. Julius said the most confident, not one of the most, the most. I'm not putting words in the boy's mouth. I'm just letting you know what the boy said. That's all.
some massive words, but this is Anthony Edwards we're talking about. At this point, we know Ant is willing to trash talk any player, and also, he's not afraid to tell former presidents who he is.
He can hoop a little bit, huh? Just a little bit, huh?
Y'all better stand down. I'm the truth.
The truth.
Hold on, hold on.
Huh?
Don't talk. We ain't gonna do all that.
Come on. Right now, he just said he's the truth.
Tell him the whole context of the situation. Though he said, "I'm okay." I said, "I'm the truth." He's tripping. That's what happened.
And we've seen directly.
That shit's funny. That shit's funny as hell. He called LeBron over, and Ant-Man started explaining himself like he was talking to his pops. He said, well, hold on. You tell him the whole damn context now. Don't get my ass in trouble. You tell Brian the whole context right now. Don't get me in trouble, okay? All right? I'll stand it up for myself. No, that shit was funny. I like it, man. He's funny. I like the guy. I like his attitude. I like him on the court. I do. I just feel like if you're going to be that brass and you're going to have that type of personality, if you're going to go to the crowd in Phoenix and tell them to suck it, if you're going to do all this, bro, you got to get to the finals. I'm not even saying that Ant-Man has to win this year. I'm not even going as far as that. He just got to get to the finals. He can't go to the conference finals 2 years in a row. Be favored. He was favored last year. His team was favored last year. I'm not sure if they would be favored this year. We'd have to see what those odds look like, but I do think his team is good enough to get there. But you can't be favored last year and be on somewhat equal ground this year and miss the finals both years. You gotta get there. You don't even have to win, but you gotta get there, especially with the talent you have and the talent your team has.
How this confidence impacts the Timberwolves as to close out games. They can rely on Ant to make things happen in the clutch. Against the Lakers in Game 3 of Round 1, the series was tied 1-1. The game was tied with around 4.5 minutes left in Game 3, and it was here where Anthony Edwards went to work. First, he connected on a 3 versus Luka after a pick forced a switch. Then, a minute later, he drew practically the entire Lakers team on him on a drive to the basket and found an open Naz Reid for a wide open 3. Moving forward with 2 minutes 20 seconds left, now it's Ant versus LeBron, and Ant just goes to work on LeBron and avoids the help for a finish at the rim. Then on defense, he let his presence be known too, getting a stop on Rui Hachimura when the Lakers desperately needed a basket. This was originally called a foul, but the coach's challenge overturned it. The ball went to Minnesota, and with a minute left now, here's Anthony Edwards isoing, rising up, dagger 3, bang. And even finished this game with another assist on the next possession, and in a game with Luka Doncic and LeBron James on the court, it was Anthony Edwards who clearly took over as the star among stars. If you have the best player on the court in any given game, you are going to have a very good chance to win that game. But in order to close out a title this year, though, Ant is, of course, going to need help, and that means Julius Randle is going to need to continue to...
And Julius Randle has been stepping up. Respect to Julius, man. Let's put some respect to Ju. Homeboy's been balling, and he's been going out there, and I'm like I said, mad respect to him. Mad respect to him, because he's been going out there and showing you how great I am. So, I'm going to give respect to Randle. And I think that the Timberwolves can win it this year. I do think the Timberwolves can win it this year. I don't care who they face in the East. There's no Jason Tatum, so whoever comes out the West, like I said, is going to be favored. And if you are the Timberwolves, you have more than enough firepower to get it done. And this would be Ant's first championship at the age of 23. The sky is already the limit. Okay? He can end up winning like 3 championships, 3, maybe even 4. Now, I know that some of you may have just raised an eyebrow like you're The Rock and went, wait, if he wins 1 championship at 23, he's healthy, right? He's definitely healthy as far as his body weight goes, so he's definitely not going to play just like 10 more years. He's probably going to play another 15 at least. So you're probably thinking, what, another 3 in just 15 years? Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. And the reason for that is because we live in a different league now, dog. Depending on what happens with Boston, because I do think New York is going to close them out. It would be fun to see them win a Game 6 and see what happens in a Game 7, but I just don't think Boston is going to be able to close out. But assuming that Boston does end up falling to New York, and Minnesota does make it to the finals, this is, again, another finals where neither team, went back again. We live in a different era, dog. Teams don't be going back-to-back like that anymore. They just don't. There's way too much talent that's spurted all throughout the league. That's why it was insane, because you got to keep in mind, Bron going to 8 straight finals, that is something to be admired, especially with 3 different teams. Okay? So it's just one of those things that if you're getting back, especially in this era, back to the finals, when we haven't had a repeat team since the Golden State Warriors super team way back when, I don't know, dog. I think that's something to be admired. That's something to be talked about. And it's something that we got to keep in context. It's like, hey, there has not been a repeat champion. There has not been a repeat contender forever. So if Ant-Man wins 3 championships, maybe even 4, depending on the numbers he put up, I can see kids making an argument for him. I can see it happening. But first, he's got to have the career, right? And his career has started, but now here's where pen meets paper, right? Every GOAT debate starts with one moment where we start filling that paper out. This is where pen meets paper. Ant-Man's got to get there. I think he's good enough to win, but he's got to get there this year.
To step up. Last season for the Knicks, Randall averaged 24 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game before going down with an injury that forced him to miss the playoffs. And then Randall was traded for Karl Anthony Towns in what was considered a very controversial move that was more of a financial decision for the Timberwolves than anything. Criticism about this trade grew as Randall struggled a lot during the regular season. The fit in Minnesota was definitely not perfect to begin. Randall saw his numbers drop noticeably to 18.7 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game, as in New York, Karl Anthony Towns became an all-star starter for the Knicks. But in the playoffs, Randall has been a different animal, averaging 23.9 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game on over 50% shooting from the field. If he can continue to play at this level, Ant might just have the wingman he needs to go out and win a championship. Jaden McDaniels has also been excellent. He's raised his scoring output to 15.4 points per game. The Timberwolves as a whole are clicking at the perfect time, and right now, the NBA playoffs have proven one thing to us. The championship this season is wide open. No single team has established themselves as a clear-cut title favorite. The Thunder were that team going into the playoffs, but now we have no idea what to expect. But what we do know is that Anthony Edwards again has the possibility of being the best player on the court in any game that he plays in. I want to know, what do you think down below? Do the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards have a chance to actually go out and win the NBA championship? And so there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Again, only if you like the video though. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.
Good shit. I liked it. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that. Like I said, pen meets paper now, Ant-Man. Get it done. Get it done. I believe you can get it done. I like you, but if you're going to be as confident as you are and as brass as you are and talk as much shit as you do, you gotta get there, dog. Gotta get there. Gotta get there. So we'll see what happens. If you guys like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want me to react to, and I'll do so. And until next time, peace out. Love you. See ya. Deuces. I'm not putting words in the boy's mouth. I'm just letting you know what the boy said. That's all.